What's up, Heal You family? This bonus episode is very close to my heart. As many of you know, I've been living with Behçet's disease for well over 20 years. But what you may not know or may not always see is how it affects the very people around me. So today I'm flipping the mic and bringing in someone who's been on this journey with me since day one. My daughter, Diamond Tiara. You know, we don't always talk about what it's like to be the child or family member or friend of someone with a chronic illness. The fear, the confusion, the strength it takes. But today we're changing that, friends. You know, you'll learn from her perspective, raw, real, and full of insight on what it's meant to grow up with a mother who fought through pain to show up every single day. All right, I hope you're ready. Now let's listen as Diamond takes part in answering some questions to help shed light on what it's like to grow up with me as her mom. As I've learned through the years how to live with Behçet's.
All right. What's one of your earliest memories of me having a sick day or dealing with the flare? I would say I don't really have a early memory. I feel like the time that I think about is the first time that you ever went to the hospital because of the pain. And like I think like my dad had to come pick me up, and it was just like I was just so worried, like where is my mom, like what's going on, why is she in the hospital? I just remember that being one of my earliest memories of like, oh, my mom is like sick. Even though I tried to hide a lot of what I was going through, you always seemed to know. How did that affect the way you saw me or how you understand strength or self-care? It didn't affect the way I saw you in a negative way. If anything, I always viewed my mom as one of the strongest people I know, because I do know that she had to deal with so much that I didn't understand. How it affects how I understand strength and self-care. Today, I could tell you if I start to even feel a little bit sick, tired, like I'm just doing too much, I'm gonna go sit my butt down and just chill out for a minute, because I'm gonna be no good if I don't take care of myself. So I look at strength and self-care as being hand in hand. Like I can't be strong if I don't take care of myself. So my mom played a big part in that. Were there times you felt confused, scared, or unsure about what was going on with my health? I would say like any of those times where you have like a really big flare and you will be really sick. Maybe in between times when medicine changes would need to happen and you weren't really sure what was working. I want to say it really, really scared me when the infusion started, because it was just kind of like, well, why is my mom going to get infusions? Like, I feel like that's for like cancer patients. Like, I'm like, this is like crazy. Like, why does she need to do that? But like I see how much the infusions help. So like that kind of took that worry away immediately. I feel like I never really had to feel confused, because anytime something did go on, like you kind of talk to me to help me through it and help me understand like whatever you were going through, you were going to get through it. It's just kind of like, when somebody should have been your biggest support, I feel like through everything, you were always my biggest support through it. Because like anybody else could tell me something, but I need my mama to tell me she gonna be okay. It didn't really matter what nobody else would say. So I think my mom did a good job with talking to me and keeping me up to date on things, you know, as much as I needed to without freaking me out, you know. What's something you wish other people understood about having a mom with a chronic illness? I would say maybe just like understand that they might not always be able to be there for everything, just because like some things are a lot harder. Like getting out of bed can be very hard, so don't be so hard on your mom, dad, or anybody in your life who has a chronic illness if they just can't be physically present for something, because you really never have any idea what they're battling with that day. You don't know how they're feeling. So I would just say, like, give them that grace. Understanding, like, maybe they're not there because they don't want to be there. They're there because it would be very painful for them to be there. Like, you just never know. So I would just say, like, people need to understand that you will probably never understand the pain that your parent, mom, dad, cousin, or whoever has a chronic illness. Like, you just don't know what that pain is like until you have to experience it. So I would just say, just try to be understanding. Even if you can't understand, just try. If you could give other kids with chronically ill parents advice or encouragement, what would it be? For my situation alone, it gets better. I don't think that I've ever seen my mom look as healthy as she looks today. Even in the moment, like I might not have realized like, oh, my mom didn't look too healthy, but like looking back at pictures of my mom, like I see like now she looks a lot healthier. Just be there, try to make things, you know, not so stressful. I wasn't too good at that. I was a very stressful kid. So maybe don't stress your parents out too much. And that's pretty much it. Just try to be understanding. Just try to be helpful. Don't take the small stuff to heart. Why you might not seem like it's too small to you. It might be small when you look at the bigger picture. So yeah, that's it. Now that you're older and a mother yourself, how has your perspective on my journey with Behçet changed? And has it shaped the way you approach motherhood? So now that I'm older, my perspective on your journey has changed because I feel like I've learned a lot more about how hard things were for you. While I do think that you were very open with me about things when I was younger, I think that I just learned more about things as I grew up. I kind of started to understand it more. When I was younger, it was always kind of like, oh, my mom's a little sick right now. She just did a little bit too much. I don't know. I don't want to say that I respect it more, because it's not like I just didn't acknowledge that you were sick when I was younger, but I think I just kind of see how much harder it was, just like being a mom and seeing how some of my days are hard, and I don't even have a chronic illness. Some days I don't want to get up out the bed. I was like, I don't want to be that for my kid, because my mom never was that with me. And I feel now, like looking back on how she talks about the struggle she went through, and just knowing like my mom did so much that I didn't realize. She had every reason to not want to get out of bed and not get out of bed, but she always did get out of bed. Maybe it didn't look how it looked for somebody else, but my mom always put that effort in to be a great mom, regardless of how she felt. And if my mom can do all that while dealing with a chronic illness, it's nothing in this world that's gonna stop me from at least trying to be half the person or half the mom my mom was to my son.
I'm so grateful for Diamond and her insight. You know, it's not always easy to look back, but sometimes it's in the reflection that we find our deepest healing. Being a mother with Behçet has meant fighting through pain with grace, showing up even when it hurts, and loving through it all. Hearing my daughter speak reminds me it mattered. It makes a difference. To all the parents out there living with invisible illnesses, you're not alone. To all the family members who are wondering what you can do to help. And to all the children who see your parents struggle but love them anyway, you are a part of their healing. Until next time, please continue to take care of you.